All right, so we've laughed together and now we're going to get to talk. But first, if you haven't seen part one of this series, the link is in the description below. So let's catch up about what happened with Revival Co. and give you some life updates. In order for things to make sense, let's rewind to 2017 when a team and I decided to launch Revival House. Revival House was a house church concept idea that we had of gathering together to worship without a prescribed agenda and to build community with other Jesus followers. And about a year later, I was given the invitation to be a part of this church, actually to merge Revival House with a church that already existed in Tampa called Legacy. And after about six months of praying and fasting and really thinking over it, I decided to give my yes and to transition. But about 3 months in, I already began to notice that it was not everything that I was told it would be. And so I'm gonna spare you the details about that chapter. And maybe we'll talk about it some other time. Fast forward to 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I made the decision that it was time for me to resign from that position and to part ways due to many disagreements and church politics, which, like I said, maybe one day we'll cover it all, but not right now. But in the spring of that same year, we launched a community that met virtually, and it eventually met in person as well, which led up to the planting of Revival Co. And for those of you who didn't know what Revival Co. was short for, it was community, not company. You would have no idea how many people would keep calling it Revival Company, which kind of cracked me up, but it was Revival Community. Now, those next 2 years were filled with memorable moments, ups and downs, questions and doubts and victories and challenges, celebration and tears. Everything a young church would experience, except that the COVID pandemic was happening around the same time and so many other things were happening out in the world that were affecting all of us. But witnessing a group of people come together once again to cultivate community and go after God's presence through worship and find ways to serve our local communities, it was such an honor for me. It really was. But throughout that time, there were many subjects in my theology, understanding, and worldview that began to be challenged. All right, let's go sit down. This is gonna take me a minute. Questions began to just erupt from within me about church practices and doctrine, sexual ethics, theology, and eschatology. And by the time the spring of 2022 came, I was exhausted. To give you a bit of an idea, I have been serving in church since I was about 8 years old. Up until I was 28 continuously, I served as a volunteer, as a pastor on staff, as a mentor in different areas of leadership. And look, I don't regret a single moment of it. I grew so much and I learned so much out of that season. But by the time last year came, I felt that every negative experience, every hit that came my way throughout all these years had mounted up on me, and it was to the point where it was affecting my spiritual life. It was affecting my discipline, my mental health. It was affecting every area of my life to the point of contemplating unaliving myself. But most importantly, it was affecting my relationship with Jesus Christ. By the way, look who came to say hello. Kylo, say hello. He's so spoiled. He just wants to be pet all the time. So I knew that God loves me and I was committed to serving God the rest of my life, no matter what came my way. But I began to notice that I was becoming resentful. I was becoming angry. My heart was becoming cold toward other people. I began to develop a social anxiety. I would freak out and panic before talking to people, before thinking about meetings, before trying to find out what had happened with whoever it happened with. And I began to notice that depression was slowly trying to creep into my heart and keep me on what I like to call autopilot, because that's exactly how I was functioning after some time. And I had surrendered the steering wheel to church culture and people's opinions of me and people's opinions of ministry. And that began to become sort of like an idol, like more important to me than anything else I felt God had promised me or anything else I felt was a dream that God had placed in my heart. I was no longer me, and I got lost in the noise. By the way, if you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Every time I post a video, you're gonna be able to see it, because I'm not gonna be posting these in like long videos. I'm gonna post these in short parts, because I'm not gonna keep you sitting there watching this for hours. You got a life, I got a life, we all got things to do, okay? This is just a short clip to share a story with you. And so, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit, but hey, this is a process. Come on, let's do this together, all right? Go subscribe, turn on your notification, hit the like button. And if you know somebody who's connected to me at Revival Co. who is interested in knowing what exactly happened, listen, send this to them. Let them know that I'm posting this. I want to clarify all of your questions. Anyway, thank you for watching this. Love you guys.